In The Woman in the Yard, the central mystery revolves around the strange woman dressed in black, who suddenly appears outside Ramona's house. She's quiet, intense, and carries a chilling vibe right from the start. She claims that Ramona invited her, a strange and eerie statement that instantly sets the tone. But as the story unfolds, it becomes increasingly clear that this woman isn't a stranger at all. She is deeply connected to Ramona, and by the end, her identity is revealed in a way that changes how we see everything that came before. Ramona is already a woman dealing with serious trauma. After a devastating car crash that left her physically injured and killed her husband, she's struggling to hold herself together. Her 2 kids, Annie and Taylor, are doing their best, but the emotional weight is overwhelming for everyone. While Ramona is trying to recover, both mentally and physically, this dark, mysterious woman keeps showing up and repeating, "Today's the day." Her arrival isn't random. She's tied directly to Ramona's pain, and eventually we learn that she's not real in the traditional sense. She's something far more disturbing. The woman is actually a physical manifestation of Ramona's grief and suicidal thoughts. She's not just a figment of Ramona's imagination. She's a living, breathing symbol of everything that's broken inside her. The woman exists because Ramona has reached a breaking point. The grief, the guilt, the overwhelming sadness, it all became too much, and so her mind created this figure as a way to deal with the pain. It's important to note that Ramona's husband died in the accident while she survived. This alone fills her with guilt, and the feeling that she doesn't deserve to go on is what feeds the woman's presence. There are flashbacks in the movie that hint at how deep Ramona's depression goes. We see that she's been unstable even before the crash. There are moments where she lashes out at her kids, especially Annie, and imagines hurting them. These are terrifying thoughts for any mother, and Ramona clearly sees herself as a danger. That's why she starts to believe that her death might actually be the best thing for her kids. The woman encourages that thought, leading her step by step towards suicide. She even helps Ramona prepare the gun. At that point, the woman isn't just grief. She's a reflection of Ramona's desire to end the pain permanently. The story plays heavily on the psychological horror of this situation. One of the most interesting choices in the film is that the woman doesn't look like Ramona. She's a completely different face and voice, hidden under a black veil for most of the movie. But as the story moves forward, it becomes obvious that she is a part of Ramona. In fact, the woman tells her, "I'm the corners of your mind, the scary parts." That one line sums it all up. She's not someone else. She's what Ramona sees when she looks deep into her own thoughts, the dark ones that she tries to hide from the world, and even from herself. It's also revealed that Ramona is on medication, though it's not clear exactly what for. That detail, however small, shows that her mental health has been fragile for some time. And it also explains why the woman doesn't look like her. When someone's struggling with mental illness, they might not even recognize the person they've become. The veil, the different face. It all shows how disconnected Ramona feels from herself. She knows she's not okay, but she can't see a way back. There are clues from the very beginning of the movie that the woman isn't real. She knows details about Ramona's life that a stranger couldn't possibly know. She even shows Ramona her hands, which are covered in blood. That blood represents guilt. Specifically, Ramona's guilt about driving the car that killed her husband. It also hints at what might happen next. That the woman will lead Ramona to take her own life, and that blood will be on her hands too. Ramona's reactions to the woman grow more intense over time, especially as she loses control over herself and her emotions. Her temper becomes dangerous. Her fantasies about hurting Annie grow stronger. The woman becomes more powerful because Ramona is giving in to those dark feelings. And while Taylor tries to stay strong and argue with Ramona about what's real and what isn't, even he can't deny that his mother is slipping deeper into darkness. Annie, meanwhile, becomes the most frightened, not just of the woman but of her own mother. That fear becomes a turning point. What's really tragic about all this is that the woman isn't some evil villain. She's not there to hurt Ramona. She is Ramona. She's the side of her that's been silenced for too long. She's the sadness that's built up with no outlet. And because Ramona tried to keep it buried instead of facing it, it took on a life of its own. The movie makes it clear that if you don't deal with your pain, it will find its own way out. And it might not be something you can control. Despite all this darkness, the movie does leave a tiny bit of hope. Annie represents that hope. She's scared, but she still loves her mom. In the final scenes, as Ramona reaches the edge of the cliff, both literally and emotionally, Annie's presence may be the one thing that keeps her from falling. It's left a bit ambiguous, but there's a suggestion that maybe, just maybe, Ramona chooses to live. The ending isn't crystal clear, and some might believe she went through with the suicide. But there's also enough room to believe that she decided to stay. For Annie, for Taylor, for herself. That's the beauty of The Woman in the Yard. It's not just a horror movie. It's a deep and haunting look at how grief can tear someone apart from the inside. It shows how trauma doesn't always come with visible scars, and how people can carry unbearable weight silently. Ramona isn't a bad person. She's just broken. And the woman is the result of all the sadness and guilt that she couldn't talk about. The movie never tries to sugarcoat grief. It shows that it's messy, painful, and sometimes terrifying. But it also says that connection, real human connection, might be the one thing that can pull someone back from the edge. The woman doesn't go away on her own. It's only when Ramona opens up to her children, when she lets them in, that there's even a chance she can break free from that darkness. That's the real message. You don't have to fight your grief alone. By the time the credits roll, The Woman in the Yard leaves you thinking deeply about mental health, grief, and how people process trauma. It doesn't offer easy answers, but it does shine a light on the internal battles many people face every day, battles that others might never even notice.